All right, hi all. This is the guided notes for section 7.2. We're going to talk about personal budgeting. So it's important that this section is really going to talk about the importance of tracking what you make and what you spend and learning how to establish a budget so that you can avoid massive debt. The hard part is not making the budget, but in real life, sticking to it. So let's go through some definitions first. Budgeting is the process of deciding how much money you can spend on various expenses based on your income. An income is the amount of money you're earning or bringing in. It's in your bank account. The first step in building a budget has to be identifying exactly how much money you're making. We either do that by earning an hourly wage or we have a salary. But we have to be mindful of the deductions that immediately come off. Taxes, insurance, maybe we pay into a retirement account. So what's left that you actually get to spend, the amount actually deposited into your bank account, is what we call as take-home pay. Since many common expenses occur on monthly cycles, it's useful to know exactly how much money you bring home per month. So that's the first thing we're going to work on. We're going to look at an application and figure out our monthly take-home pay. Camilla works full-time as an executive assistant and has a check for $1,023.07 direct deposited into a checking account every other Friday. What is Camilla's monthly take-home pay? Round your answer to the nearest cent and use 365 days to represent a year. We want to get the take-home pay for our homework in ALEKS to be as exact as possible. We don't want to estimate here. So every other Friday, we can't really know how many Fridays that means occur in the year. So we have to go a different path. What that does mean, though, something that we can say that means, is every other Friday would mean that is 14 days, all right? Between checks. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take that $1,023.07 and we're going to divide it by 14 days so that we get, well, how much do we make daily? And so that's a simple calculation on the calculator, right? So you take 1,023.07 and you divide by 14. And you're going to round here to the second decimal because we're talking money. So you're going to get $73.08 per day that you make from that amount. Then what you can do is you can take that $73.08 and you can say, well, I'm going to make that for 365 days. It doesn't mean you're working 365 days, but you're finding an average over 14 days. So it's safe to say that amount is covered each day for a full year. So again, with your calculator, you can check on your own. $73.08 times 365 is $27,674.20. And now this is what you make per year. You probably make more than that, but remember taxes, insurance, and retirement are already taken off the top. So that is the amount that's over the course of a year deposited into your account. We want to get this to a monthly take-home pay, though. So how many months are in a year? 12. So to get our monthly take-home pay, we're going to take that amount, $27,674.20, and we're going to divide by 12 months. Again, check with your calculator. 2,200 $22.85 would be the amount in your checking account every month. So there's a U-Try problem. You know, probably, as I said in 7.1, the U-Try problems are really where you need to try this out. So all I'm going to give you here is an answer. You are absolutely more than welcome to reach out to me if you cannot figure out how to get to this answer. So the answer is $4,053.63 per month. So try to apply A to B to figure out how to get to that answer. Right? So C, Jordan's take-home pay is $848.67. He receives this amount on the second and fourth Monday of every month. What is Jordan's monthly take-home pay? Round intermediate calculations, and the final answer to the nearest cent. Knowing that you're paid in the last one every other Friday is very different than knowing that you get paid on the second and fourth Monday of every month. That does not mean a 2-week period has surpassed there. So we can only estimate this one. Because we don't really know how many days there are between the second Monday and the fourth Monday. We have no idea how to get that exact. So the only thing we could do here, if this is all we know about Jordan, is we know that essentially then that $848.67 is paid twice in the month. So we're going to estimate and say they get paid on the second and fourth Monday of every month, so they get paid twice. Calculator would show the approximated take-home pay for the month is $1,697.34. D, what is your monthly take-home pay if your take-home pay is calculated as 40 hours from Monday to Friday, 8 hours 2 Saturdays per month? Regular hourly rate is $20.40. That doubles for the weekends. 30% is deducted for taxes and insurance. All right, so there's a lot of work to do here to get to our monthly take-home pay. Step 1. Well, Monday through Friday, how much is the regular hourly rate? It's $20.40. And how many hours do they work Monday through Friday? It says right here 40 hours. So we're going to multiply this by 40. And we're going to get $816 weekly, Monday through Friday. Well, how many weeks are there in a year? There are 52. So we are safe to say that every week, for all 52 weeks, they're going to make that $816. So $45,432 is yearly, Monday through Friday. But they also work 2 Saturdays, right? So let's find what it says here. It says 2 Saturdays per month, and the pay is double. So, and they work, we should also catch it. How many hours do they work? They work 8 hours. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to say 8 hours times double pay. So double pay would be $40.80. What are we doubling? We're doubling the $20.40. And how many times do they do this in the month? They do it twice. So this, if you multiply it together, is $652.80, right? But be careful, this isn't weekly, this is monthly. Because they only do this twice a month. They don't do it Monday through Friday every week. So that if there's a different label there. Well, if we want to shift that to how much do they make in a year, we need to know how many months are in a year. So we're going to multiply by 12. And we're going to get $7,833.60. And now this is yearly. Step 3 would be, well, what is the total yearly pay? Well, the total yearly pay would be to take the $45,432 and add on $7,833.60. Right? It would be to add those amounts together. So you get a total of $50,265.60. Now, before we can get to our actual answer of monthly take-home pay, they told us that there's a 30% deduction for taxes and insurance. So we have to do that now. There's two ways of thinking on this. One way is to take your yearly pay, $50,265.60, multiply it by 30% to figure out the taxes, and then subtract that from $50,265.60. Or another way of thinking is to think about what percentage is left of this total yearly amount. If 30% is being removed for taxes and insurance, doesn't that mean that 70% still remains? So this means 70% remains to you. So a quicker way to get what's left from a deduction is to multiply by the percentage that remains. So we're going to multiply this by 70%. Now remember, when we use percents, we need to turn them into decimals, so this would be 0.7. Remember, drop the symbol, move 2 places to the left, times $50,265.60. And you would get $35,185.92. This fairly simple multiplication, I'm hoping you are checking with your calculator. Remember, you can pause the video, check with your calculator to make sure you're getting the same numbers. Now, finally, the last step, monthly take-home pay. So we're going to take the $35,185.92 and we're going to divide it by 12. And that gets us $2,932.16, which would represent our monthly take-home pay.